Hey, I just took over for Dad. He's been in the cab since probably 6 a.m. I'm honestly not sure how much I'm going to be able to go because it is spitting a little bit. We're kind of overworking the... Why is one giving me an... Oh, there it goes. We are kind of putting the air guards to the limit. They're designed to deal with humidity, not rain. I don't know. Tanner used to say it helped in the rain too. They had a lot of drizzly mornings that they went through. I don't know. The radar looks like it's building and it's coming this way. The sky doesn't look terrible to the north. About 6-8 miles south of here. It's getting kind of dark. So, yeah, today's just been a busy day of getting everything moved around a lot. So we are, I don't know which day, as far as like how many hours we've spent seeding or days we've turned the tractor on or what. But today is the Sunday of May long, so it's the 19th. And as it stands right now, I might have to get rid of this. Might reseed that. I don't know. It says I did. I don't know. That's the first time I've seen just to be on the safe side. Got a lapel mic that I keep trying to use. Not sure if it makes a difference. I guess we will see. But I had a system disconnect. I hope it shows that it's seeded. And this one didn't disconnect. And it's showing that it's seeded. So there's no gaps, which is a good thing. Since we've been running this little prototype, that's the first time I've seen a disconnect. I hope that's not an issue. Luckily, it's about as far away from anybody's ever gonna see. The closest road is a mile in any direction from here. And yeah, like we are 200 feet from the south headland. It's not like you're just gonna randomly come across it. Number 41 seed flashed quite a bit, but doesn't plug. Okay, well that was the one that, no, it was number 1. Got a long hose, might affect flow a bit. Okay, well, it is what it is. Alright, see what, that's just relaying some info. May 19th, that's what I was talking about. Today I spent a lot of time just running around, dealing with seed, keeping the semis or the grain trucks full of seed. We have been using those because my semi was full of seed and it was parked on an oil lease, and then it got rained out. We got way more rain up in town where the ground is a bit heavier, and that was real slimy. And the ground's a bit soft. I almost got stuck when I had to go and turn around in the field. It was close. So, we also cleaned out the sprayer. So, we're done spraying. The next stuff that's going to be sprayed is in crop. So, obviously we got to rinse the living hell out of the sprayer and drain all the water. Tomorrow Zach's going to clean all the filters. We got to switch tips. We have to do some cleaning, like clean up some sensors, this, that, the other. Do a function test. We'll get all that ready to go. Overall, things have been going very well with seeding. I don't want to say that too loudly because we should have roughly 2 days left. This field we have how much done? Well, that's one thing I also don't like about, I should mention, on the Vaderstad Icon. I don't know what the old one was. I've never run the 2.7 software. This is the 3.0 or something like that. Really? You gonna smarten up? Thank you. When you do a boundary or a perimeter, it says acres inside, but it doesn't say acres completed unless you go to maybe you can do a job. Oh, there it is. So we got 51 acres seeded here out of a 550 acre field. So we have 500 done, or 500 to go on this field. Plus we have 100, after that we have 120-ish of dads. I have a little over half of a mini bulk that's got to go to my last field. So we got to seed this out relatively close and ideally have, well, I have 4 bags. I have a couple of Heinz 57 bags I might put in from the seed trials, and I might put those way where nobody can see them, just in case maturity and crop staging and stuff gets a little wonky. At least there's one small field where nobody else can see. I have another field that acreage would work, right? But it is right beside the highway, so if it looks like hell, I'm going to hear about it all friggin' year. So yeah, once we're done my stuff here, we should have about 80 acres left in the tote if we do it right. And if we have to seed it a little thinner, I'm not upset if we have to, because we're getting solid moisture. You're putting canola right into moisture. It's not like you're planting it in dust and waiting, and it's not stupid sticky moisture. So that's good as well. I'm not concerned about mortality yet, and honestly, I felt last year that the flea beetles didn't really care for the DeKalb as much. I don't know. The whole field was 340, and you were seeing some flea beetles. Not enough that I needed to spray, but enough that you were noticing it. You gonna get online, or are you just gonna piss around? Taking your sweet time to get there. Jesus. Anyways. So, yeah, if I have to seed a little light, that is okay. Obviously, I don't want to be going at 2 pounds an acre, because it doesn't sound like there's a whole lot of extra seed around to be had. If there is, it's swathed. Ideally, don't want swath. If we had to, I've got a couple parcels that maybe I just swath those. Wouldn't be the end of the world if I had to rent somebody's to do 50 acres. So if things go well, if the weather holds out, they have reduced the chance of rain on, because they were calling for over half an inch tomorrow. Now it's pretty much nothing, which is great. You know, we're just going to go. If that's the case, we have, like I said, 500 acres left here, and then another 240, so we're 720 acres. Oh, I don't like that. Not looking a very good corner. Figured you wouldn't like that. Pick it up. So it's just a hair late. That's gonna look like hell. It'll be fine. Yeah, so really you could look at it as if it's like 3, on this 550 acres. And like, this will be 160, that one will be 80, and I think there's like 35, and then a 60, and then whatever's left out of that. And then that one field's 120 some acres. And then we go to my last field, and it's like a 90 acre field, a 12 acre field, and a 28 acre field or something like that. There we go, that's a better term. Very wet in places too. I gotta steer around this. Don't want to get too aggressive when we plugging stuff off. I usually try and go as far as I can before the outer wing starts pushing mud. Got the dual casters out there. This is going to be soft, felt soft. Tractor's on good stuff. Just it felt like I was getting pulled for a second. I'm also not terribly aggressive when it's night and the nearest help is like, would probably be 3 hours. Because I would have to call Dad or Zach. They would have to get the 2375, which is at Dad's place, which is 20 miles from here. Not quite, probably 17. And it's got to get unhooked, warmed up and unhooked from the heavy harrows. So I also don't want to be the reason we're not done Tuesday. So for some reason, I am ridiculously comfortable running this drill. I initially thought I'd be much like Dad, where you kind of just feel like, oh, there's a lot going on, this is changing, that's doing, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, wow, there's a lot to wrap your head around. So once you get the job going, it's pretty straightforward. It takes a lot of stress off of making your turns. Got a long, thin one I gotta do here. Because you're not doing as much. Last year, we would have to, if we got to the headland, we would have to wait till, we pretty much waited right until about the front row of shanks was about to hit the existing seeded field, headland, whatever it is. And that's when we'd go and we'd hit our ACK button, and that would shut off our meters. So there's still that second or 3 or 4 delay in getting product to the shanks. And then once we thought our shanks were empty, we'd have to pull on Mr. Green here to lift our shanks. Then we'd do our turn. For some reason, I'm so much more comfortable turning 70 feet. I know it's a bigger radius to turn, so you don't have to be so aggressive, which is kind of nice. But you do your turn, you'd have to get on your line, hit your GPS, and then you'd have to turn around and hit your ACK button when the unseeded crop was pretty much at the, I always use the front steps on the Delta track, the engine access steps, and I'd hit the button to start the clutches, and then I'd hit the shanks. Let me get this. Looks good. We'll go here. So there's way less to do Because I don't touch anything over here unless I have to. Like if you're doing headlands, sometimes you got to go in manual and lift a section on a tight corner and that kind of stuff. But if I'm just doing a straight, easy headland, all I do is I wait till I'm done running. I kind of do a little bit of a bulb turn, and then this one or not, I must be on the next one. Then I switch over and I shouldn't say switch over, I get over on my next line and I hit the GPS. And that's it. Like, watch this. Once I get close enough, be a nice turn here. Probably a bad example. GPS is hit. It's actually a pretty good turn. I got a real square to it. Might be able to see the shanks going in. That's it. Alright, so the good news is I'm pretty sure the communications issue had nothing to do with my Bluetooth. I just had one and I had zero Bluetooth going except for this stuff. And the even better news is as soon as that happened, I noticed it did switch over to so it says control device on this one and user device on that one. As soon as it happened, that one switched to control, which is great. So we're not missing anything. The bad news is the rain's picking up. And I haven't seen any blockages yet. But I know there's limits to every system. I'm gonna try this. I've got probably, I don't know if there's 4 acres around where I am right here. We're just kind of screwing around. Slow. Gonna get online in time. I don't think so. 3, 2, good enough. But if it doesn't lighten up by the time I make it there and back, we're pulling the ripcord. Well, the toolbar's soaked. The cart is soaked. I was thinking it was maybe the lights are making it look worse because it's not where I'm sitting. Let's take a look. So where I'm sitting, the back of the hood doesn't look that wet, but when you start looking up, the front of it is pretty soaked. So all the air coming across is just carrying the water away. Start looking, yeah, the back, that's not, well, that's probably being protected by the cab, but the toolbar's wet, the drill's wet. I was thinking the lights were making it look worse than it really is, but I think I gotta be realistic and say that this is gonna be the last pass.